What Going Insane Looks Like by Jack Neal. What's good? How you doing? Good morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. I'm not going to do a long intro, not going to talk your ears off. However, though, as this video play out, you know we're going to talk some ish because this is a topic, we talk about a lot. As far as the whole process of someone checking out, going there mentally. And funny because I think that fact that I always throw at y'all, real quick, we're going to get to the video. I think I heard it from Jack Neal first, the one where it was like, when people go insane. I'm paraphrasing, don't remember. When people start going crazy and ish, to them, everything still seems kind of normal. They don't know it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think about that a lot because, not even being funny, I step back and I'm like, yo, let me look at my life because it feels normal. Am I doing some shit crazy and I know about it? Even though I know it ain't that damn simple when people really start going there mentally. But regardless, though, man, let's go and check out this video. From this thumbnail, I think I do know about this, though. But either way, go, though. You want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below. But let's go.
When no one answers the door, officers kick it down and are immediately overwhelmed by the stench of death. They walk inside and follow the scent to a back room where they make a grisly discovery. It's the decomposing body of a naked man, and next to him is a tripod with a camera on it. And inside the camera is a tape, and scribbled on the side are the 3 words, "The Last Day." A deputy then sticks it inside a video player and presses play.
My name is Ricardo Lopez. It is January 14th, 1996. Today's my birthday. I'm 21. Now, yesterday I purchased this camera and I will begin a documentation of my life, of my art, and of my plans. Do you want to see something funny? I'm gonna show you who I am. I am a monster.
This vlog is just one of 11 videotapes, along with a series of handwritten journals that document Ricardo's descent into insanity. What starts as an innocent fandom quickly turns into a deadly obsession. And soon enough, authorities will be racing against the clock to prevent his evil plan from claiming the life of a famous singer. This is how Ricardo Lopez became.
That's fucked up. My bad, I was noticing because the TV reflection wasn't blanked out.
Authorities will be racing against the clock to prevent his evil plan from claiming the life of a famous singer. This is how Ricardo Lopez became the Bjork Stalker.
I think I seen that thumbnail somewhere.
Ricardo was born on January 14th, 1975, into a middle-class family living in Uruguay. He's the youngest of 3 boys, and the family moves to the US and settles down in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Now, the Lopezes are a pretty tight-knit family, and Ricardo is particularly close with his mom, who's 40 years old when she gives birth to him. And growing up, he's a pretty easygoing kid, but he's kind of shy and introverted, so it's tough for him to make friends at school. Further, the boy has poor self-esteem and is socially awkward, and this is especially the case when he interacts with members of the opposite sex, so growing up, Ricardo doesn't really have that many girlfriends. As a teen, he's diagnosed with a disease called gynecomastia, which essentially means he has abnormally large breast tissue, and while the effects are mostly cosmetic, I think we can all agree the dire effects this would have on the mental health of a growing boy. The condition makes
I didn't
him
even know. I'm about to show my ignorance real quick. I didn't even know that was a thing for real, dog. And not even being funny. I wonder if my nigga got that because he's not a big dude, but he got some big titties. For real. Not being funny, dog.
While the effects are mostly cosmetic. As a teen, he's diagnosed with a disease called gynecomastia, which essentially means he has abnormally large breast tissue, and while the effects are mostly cosmetic, I think we can all agree the dire effects this would have on the mental health of a growing boy. The condition makes him so insecure, in fact, that he rarely socializes with other people and becomes a recluse, cutting himself off completely from the public. Additionally, Ricardo may have suffered from what's called Klinefelter syndrome, which basically means he has an extra copy of an X male chromosome, making his genitals abnormally small. His inferiority complex leads him to dropping out of high school when he's just 17 and moving to South Florida to work with his older brother in the pest control business. And when he's not working, trying to make ends meet, he's home alone in his Hollywood apartment. And there he finds that the only way he can escape his bleak, boring life is through celebrity magazines. He's fascinated by the admiration and glam these individuals receive and starts to live through them vicariously. Ricardo wishes that he was living this lifestyle and hanging out with them, and that's when he becomes particularly infatuated with one singer. In 1993, after seeing a music video of an emerging artist named Bjork, he's in awe by the girl's childlike appearance and innocence and instantly becomes obsessed. Ricardo begins reading everything he can get his hands on about Bjork, collecting information about her life, her career, writing her fan letters, and plastering her photos on his walls. He soon starts making artwork using the girl's image, and side note, there'd been a point in time where Ricardo had dreamed of becoming an artist. And while he never applies to art school because he's too afraid of getting rejected, I think we all know that this is a red flag. Art school, getting rejected, shit is about to get wicked. But instead of art, Ricardo channels his creative energy into a diary about Bjork, which eventually becomes over 800 pages long. He meticulously documents his fantasies about the woman, now calling her his muse, and Ricardo notes that this obsession gives him an almost euphoric feeling. However, I think it's important to note that his love for Bjork wasn't physical, more of a worshipping nature, as he writes, "I couldn't have sex with Bjork because I love her." Things get even weirder when Ricardo dreams.
Oh, we gotta add real quick. What the? I ain't gonna lie. I thought. Hold on, let me stop this ad. Well, I'm gonna let it plug and mute it real quick. But real quick, while the ad's playing, I ain't gonna lie. I thought the video was gonna be about him documenting and showing us his journey of going down of psychosis just taking over. That's what I thought it was gonna be, for real. Not even gonna lie to you. Yo, I watched videos recently, man. I looked them up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't bothered to him. I looked them up because we talked about, my bad, we talked about schizophrenia and all that shit on the channel a few times, whatever. But I was watching videos of people just showing that shit, kind of documented, whatever. Hold up, the ad over. I mean, yeah, the ad's over. Let me go back. But I was watching people, stories and shit, just kind of explaining it and also showing some of the moments and shit. I was like, yo, man. Off topic on this video a little bit because, yo, there's, man, they really can't be, a good amount of times they be sounding like they can't control that shit, man. I be feeling bad for them people. But this one just sounded like someone who just really became obsessed. So far, I'm gonna let it play out. This one sounded weird, dog. I think I seen dog face on the thumbnail.
More of a worshipping nature, as he writes, "I couldn't have sex with Bjork because I love her." Things get even weirder when Ricardo dreams of inventing a time machine so he can go back to the 70s and befriend Bjork when they're both kids. As this obsession grows, he becomes more isolated, and Ricardo's entire existence revolves only around Bjork. He spends most of his time alone, cooped up in his apartment, pouring his energy into journals and creating an imaginary life with the girl. However, his passion takes a dark turn 3 years later when he learns.
Last up, your mental does, lately, I've been noticing, yeah, your mental does get scary. It does get fucking dark. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I've been lately trying to get out that hoe. I've been leaving my mental lately. I've been trying. You can't. You really can't escape it. But hey, that bitch can take you some places, dog. No, I ain't about to say that shit on video, man. You gonna get me canceled already. See, like that. He just told me to call you a hoe ass nigga. Stop playing, dog. For it just still trips me out how we cannot understand what we supposedly 100% own. Our body. It's my brain. It's in my body. What you mean I don't understand it? Why can't I? Are you about to do that shit in this video, dog?
Bjork. He spends most of his time alone,
100%.
Cooped up in his apartment, pouring his energy into journals and creating an imaginary life with the girl. However, his passion takes a dark turn 3 years later when he learns that Bjork has a new lover.
Ooh,
it's January 14th, 1996, and Ricardo's reading an article in Entertainment Weekly about the singer's new boyfriend. He's also a musician and fellow entertainer who goes by the nickname Goldie. This relationship, along with the fact that the guy is African American, turns Ricardo's deep affection for Bjork into an intense hatred.
Look at this beautiful
Digger lover.
This cute, innocent, sweet and shy thing. She's fucking a
What I tell you.
Can you believe that? Yes, that's unacceptable.
See, in Ricardo's head, he thinks that Bjork is betraying him and wants to teach her a lesson.
And she will pay. She killed me for that.
He starts conjuring up different methods of revenge and makes a plan so he can attack her from a distance and not be the one held responsible. He then has an idea for a sort of book bomb that when she opens it up, the contents will explode on her face, disfiguring, or better yet, killing her. And of course, this is all under the premise that if he can't have her, no one can. Ricardo first decides to fill the weapon with HIV-infected blood and designs a device that shoots needles out of it. And ideally...
Nah, that ain't for the kill. That's to make it so no one else wants you. Because it sounds like he wants to destroy her face and then also give her a disease. That way no one wants her. And the face... Ah, this is fucked up, man.
And designs a device that shoots needles out of it. And ideally, they'll puncture Bjork's skin, injecting the virus into her system, giving her the disease. And while he's unable to obtain the materials to make such a thing, it's not really a problem because he has a backup plan. Since Ricardo is an exterminator, he has access to restricted and dangerous chemicals and decides to make an acid bomb. He uses a substance called sulfuric acid, which is colorless, odorless, and extremely hard to detect. Further, it's highly corrosive and extremely dangerous when it comes into contact with human skin and can lead to severe burns, even death. And to Ricardo, this is the perfect way to get dangerous when it comes into contact with human skin and can lead to severe burns, even death. And to Ricardo, this is the perfect way to get back at Bjork for betraying him. He then documents every diabolical step, turning this nightmare of a plan into reality. He records the process of calling several chemical supply companies to see just how much sulfuric acid that he can get his hands on. He demonstrates with a book how to gently remove the pages, hollowing it out, leaving the spine and cover intact. Ricardo even tests out his homemade explosive, showing off how it will work by pouring an unknown liquid inside and watching it blast open and splatter onto his wall.
Direct hit.
For 9 months, Ricardo records every macabre move and motive, creating 11 tapes in total and over 22 hours of footage. But he doesn't plan on just killing Bjork. See, a crucial part to all of this is Ricardo taking his own life. He has hopes that if they die at the same time, they'll be thrust into the afterlife and spend all of eternity together forever. And although he's clearly mentally unstable, he speaks to the camera directly and with purpose. Ricardo states exactly what he's about to do and insists that he is aware of everything that's happening.
I can do it tomorrow, finish it tomorrow. Then I have to work on my own personal suicide message from my family and stuff. That's gonna be the hardest. I gotta make it look like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not depressed.
On September 12th, 1996, Ricardo is sitting in front of his video camera in his Hollywood apartment.
That shit is crazy. It was sitting in the fact that he is aware of this shit. Because he knew it was going to be an embarrassment once his family saw that shit. Like, I got to make it look like XYZ.
Then I have to work on my own personal suicide message from my family and stuff. That's going to be the hardest. I got to make it look like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not depressed.
On September 12th, 1996, Ricardo is sitting in front of his video camera in his Hollywood apartment. He explains that he has just mailed a package to Bjork at her home in London. It's disguised to look like something from her record company, which he hopes will entice her to open it immediately. He seems pleased with the thought of finally taking action against the singer, who he believes has caused him so much pain. He then says that this will be his final diary entry because in a few hours, he will be dead. Ricardo shows off his filthy apartment, referring to it as a pigsty. Ricardo shows off
That's my fucking show.
His filthy apartment, referring to it as a pigsty, and you can see the camera pan over a cluttered, cramped room, filled completely with trash, stacked with books, videos and writing scrawled across the walls. He then grabs an electric razor and starts shaving his head before covering his face with red, green, and black grease paint, looking like some sort of primitive warrior. Ricardo then arms himself with a weapon.
Sweater.
Some sort of primitive warrior. Ricardo then arms himself with a weapon and sits as the song I Remember You by Bjork plays in the background. In his final moments, Ricardo sits in front of the camera, taking several deep, long breaths, and continues to speak as he does so. He claims that he isn't nervous, repeatedly insisting that he knows exactly what he's doing because this is the moment he's been planning for. Then, as it gets toward the last part of the song, Ricardo makes one last declaration.
This death is for you, Bjork.
At 2:53 p.m., I Remember You comes to an end, and Ricardo puts a 38 in his mouth, takes one last deep breath, and pulls the trigger. A single shot echoes in the tiny room as he groans and falls out of his chair, revealing a message written in black on the wall behind him. It reads, "The best of me."
I would say, wasn't that shit not blanked out like 10 seconds ago?
September 12th. It's 4 days later on September 16th, 1996, when investigators from the Broward County Sheriff's Department stumble into a crime scene unlike any other. They watch in disbelief as a deeply troubled man shares his life on video, revealing his obsession with Bjork, an infatuation that caused him to end his life. And psychologists later say that the reason Ricardo had drastically changed his appearance is so that he wouldn't recognize himself in the mirror. That way, it'd be easier for him to end his suffering because he is eliminating a problem, not a person, especially not himself. There's also a strange message on the wall in large handwritten black letters that reads, "The 8mm videos are documentation of a crime. Terrorist matter. They are for the FBI." And below the words are a collection of videos and journals detailing exactly what had happened on that fateful day, and of course, the months leading up to it. Officers then become alarmed as the contents reveal an explosive device had been created in this very apartment. They're thinking, well, where is it? And is this thing about to go off? Some deputies go door to door telling residents to evacuate the building as they frantically search for the bomb. They think that this place might be booby-trapped and any wrong move might cost them their lives.
I need some more weed, dog.
Evacuate the building as they frantically search for the bomb. They think that this place might be booby-trapped and any wrong move might cost them their lives. Though after several hours, they learn the device had been mailed out 4 days earlier to Bjork in London, the last day Ricardo had been seen alive. This puts officers into a panic because the package is set to take 5 days to reach the UK.
Shit, call her ass.
They only have 24 hours to intercept it and save Bjork. They immediately contact the Metropolitan Police in the United Kingdom, and amazingly, the package is located and removed from a post office in South London. It's then safely detonated, and thankfully, no one is harmed in the process. Now, when the shocking details of this whole ordeal start to spread, the case of the Bjork stalkers sends the media into a frenzy. Reporters all over the globe swarm the artist as she's trying to leave her house. You can see that the girl appears visibly shaken as she expresses grief over the horrifying situation.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's just kind of a very sad thing, obviously when somebody shoots their face off, it's terrible.
You know, guys, in a sick way, he kind of got what he wanted. She knows his name. And what's kind of wholesome about this case to me is that in the aftermath, Bjork is super respectful. She sends flowers and a card stating her deepest condolences to his family. Now, the Lopez family say they'd known about his fascination with the singer, but never could imagine he'd be capable of such violent behavior. This is a guy who clearly needed professional help and had been desperate. He hadn't been able to cope with his intense feelings of not being good enough, and an obsession led him down a destructive, fatal path. With social media, influencers and celebrities are more accessible to their fans than ever before. They post their home life, vacation, friends, family members, all of which puts their safety at risk. Rapper PNB Rock was recently shot a few miles away from me after posting on Instagram and tagging the restaurant he was at. Kim Kardashian was bound and gagged after posting on Instagram in Paris. Seriously guys, be careful where you post in real time. I know I do, because if I die, who's gonna make the video about it? In all seriousness though, if you or someone you know has thoughts about harming themselves, you are genuinely not alone. If you need help, you can call the Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm Jack Neal, and as always, stay safe, YouTube.
Man, what a fucking story, dog. Dog, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. I ain't gonna lie to you, this story made a drastic turn versus the direction I thought that it was going to go. We already spoke about that earlier. One thing I do want to say though, I am so glad that this package did not make it to this girl though, because this did not sound like someone going for the kill to me. This sounded like someone who wanted to just hit someone with, all right, I'm gonna destroy some ish and make it so that you feel what I feel, that no one wants you, whatever, right? Because from what we hear with the, I want to say poison, not poison, the acid, whatever, and that was the secondary, because the primary was the freaking the nails with the HIV that'll be injected to her. I was like, oh, that sounds like someone who can survive possibly. I mean, don't get me wrong, that one can't take you out, but more than likely they're gonna be paying to survive, but they gonna look messed up and be living with some issues. So it's like, yeah, no one's gonna want you. Or the secondary, which was the ass, it was like, yeah, just freaking destroy the face. I saw it was some video online I watched, some woman this issue happened to, whatever, but either way, go off track, whatever. So that's what it was sounding like to me, man. But I am so glad that this package did not make it to this girl, man. But even with all that, man, I still feel like living in that mental, I do think your mind can take you some places, man. So that's why lately I've been trying to jump up out that mud, like, yeah, let me go ahead and get up out of here, because, man, I've been catching myself, dog. At this point, video over. I wish I had something to smoke with you, dog, a little smoke session. But I ain't gonna lie, dog. Sometimes I be sitting there chilling, minding my business, probably editing, probably on the game, doing whatever, I don't know. Whatever I'm doing, dog. So I'm like, man, I'm mad at somebody. Who I'm mad at? This person. Why this nigga doing this shit? Because I told, man, you just started making up shit in your head. Like, nigga, stop making up shit, boy. Get the fuck out of there. Thought I found something. I'm about to smoke my partner shit anyway. He about to come over, and when he come over, we smoke dog shit. Well, not actual dog shit, because if you're from Michigan, that means something else to you. We smoking dog shit. You know what I'm talking about. Shit, I'm trying to be up, dog. Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. But, man, either way it go, though, what I was about to say, though, getting out the mental lately, I've been hella trying to do that. And, again, like I said, I'm always want to tell you, yo, use that imagination, let it run wild, blase, blah, whatever. Same spill, whatever, right? But lately, I don't know. I'll be like, man, this bitch is low-key kind of dark in here. I ain't gonna cap to you, man. You be making up so many scenarios that's not even going on, and don't let you, unless it's just me, don't let you be just a tiny bit upset with anyone at that moment when you really jump into your mental. Watch how you create this huge crazy ass scenario, how you gonna handle it, and why they should have listened to you anyway, and why you was right, and fuck them low key. All this shit, it start going left, dog. I be stopping, like, nigga, stop. What you sitting there thinking that for, boy? You ain't doing shit, man. Chill out. They ain't even what it is, man. I don't know. Maybe this just sound like blah blah to you, but lately that my mental, I noticed it's been doing that shit since I was young, but have been like noticing shit. Like, man, you know what? No, that shit need to change. I gotta stop chilling in my mental so much, because maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it should get dark a little bit. Hey, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. Go ahead and enjoy your day, dog. Morning, evening, night when you're watching this video, man. But I'm out.